Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another video. I'm absolutely buzzing. Obviously yesterday we got the first interview, the main interview, and obviously the press conferences to come before the US tour. I already analyzed, broke that down in my stream. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you check it out. But also, the preseason really does start to feel like it's beginning now because, of course, the training images have been released. And this training kit from Flamengo, oh Lord Jesus, it's so good. It's so good. I'm going to the mega store ASAP to go and purchase this because you're going to see me wearing it in videos. This training kit is so cold. It's so clean. It's nasty. It's nasty, guys. Gold, white, and black. Listen, we need to have Flamengo as our main sponsor. We need to negotiate something because they know what they're doing when it comes to sponsoring us. Nike, they seem to have a lovely chemistry relationship. The chemistry is clear. So we need to make that happen for the main kit. It looks so good, so good. More than you can believe, guys. So let's get into it. I'm excited, man. I feel refreshed. Last season, at the back end, it was becoming a chore. Traumatizing to watch this club. Now, fresh training gear, new players are starting to rock up. We're seeing Andre Santos in the training pictures. We're seeing Ian Matson. We've seen, Cassidy. We're seeing Sterling and Chilwell doing some gym work as well. Little bit of gym work today, a little bit of with the football as well. And fitness. It's good to see Jesus Perez also at the training ground alongside Pochettino, the dynamic duo. And I just found out that Jesus Perez, our assistant, follows me on Twitter. I'm telling you, I'm part of Maurizio's men. Maurizio's men, guys. Make sure you smash up the likes if you're part of Maurizio's men. The army that is congregating, and it's beautiful. So that's mad. Didn't expect to see that. But yeah, he is following. So it's mad. What a wonderful day it's going to be just to get back into the rhythm of things. It feels like the season's going to be starting. The US tour is going to be starting in a couple of weeks. I'm glad that they've actually got these couple of weeks at Cobham to get their fitness sorted. Players are going to be coming in drips and drabs, like we've already said. They're not going to all just arrive in one bunch. We've got this crop, then the next crop comes after. But listen, we have to get into the news as well because there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot surfacing. Now, yesterday on the Monday, Pochettino decided he's going to have a barbecue. He said he's going to have a barbecue basically the same day as his interview, I'm sure. And listen, he's basically just introduced himself to the rest of the staff, creating that family vibe, that culture that I spoke about in the stream. I wish I could have analysed it. His welcome message on Instagram was incredible. Wonderful, wonderful message. And I'm going to be reading it out. It says, "Thank you to everyone for your kind messages in this last month. It's been great to be back in the Premier League with Chelsea, a giant of English and European football. We are rested and ready to go, full of energy and desire. And that is exactly what we want from all the players and staff too. I personally cannot wait for the season to begin, to get to work with everyone and experience Stamford Bridge and your support for the first time as your head coach. We know the expectation around this club and we will do everything we can to give you a Chelsea team that you can believe in and be proud to support in every game." Listen, I love the fact that we've got Pochettino on Instagram. We've got Sebastian, actually, Pochettino on Instagram as well, his brother. And we've got, of course, Jesus Perez on Twitter. So we have our options in terms of following here. But let's get into the news as well. Listen, outside of the barbecue, outside of the chicken and the I don't know what else was on that fry up. There was a whole heap of things. I'll show you those images. But we also have a big conversation to be had as to who should be the next Chelsea captain. And of course, Azpilicueta expected to leave in terms of mutual, termination of his contract, going to Atletico Madrid. We're still waiting for that to be confirmed, but we're expecting it to be confirmed very soon. So Thiago Silva is one of the front runners alongside Reece James, Kepa and Sterling. Now the latter, for me, Sterling can't be captain. I just can't see how that even makes any sense. I know he's got experience at the top level, but that's as far as that goes. I don't see captain in him. From what I can see anyway, from afar, that just doesn't even feel right. Kepa, again, when he put the armband on a couple of times last season, listen, he certainly speaks, he communicates, but again, is he a top performer? For me, you've got to be a top performer and a top communicator. You have to be both. And I don't think Kepa is one of the best players in the team, that's for sure. I think, he borderline could have been replaced in that goalkeeping position. So for me personally, it comes down to Thiago Silva and Reece James. both of them have their positives, pros and cons as to why they could become captain. Obviously, Reece James is very injury prone, so how much football is he going to play? Obviously, we've signed Gusto. You want a captain who's going to play with regularity. And Thiago Silva, that fits into that mold as well. Not really due to injury concerns, but again, you wouldn't want to overplay Thiago Silva this season purely because of his age. Now, there was a season under Conte where John Terry, when we won the title, was actually captain, but Gary Cahill was basically the captain for the majority of the season because he's the one that started in the back three alongside Azpilicueta and David Luiz. So, you know, maybe you can have an off-the-pitch captain who is the actual club captain. That could be Thiago Silva. And then you could have a on-the-pitch captain, which could be Reece James, if he ends up actually, hopefully, we pray with Jesus Perez and his fitness coaches, they actually keep him fit. Then that's a good option there. And maybe you're going to need a third one just in case he does get injured every now and then. So let me know in the comments who you actually want to be captain. It's an interesting conversation. There's no clear, obvious option. Obviously, you know, even if it is Silva, most likely we'd have to replace him in the season after with a new captain. So maybe this is a year for James to kind of get to the ropes and handle the responsibilities of a captain, being vice captain, and then the following season gets promoted. So we'll see. It's an interesting one. So also, very quickly, to go on to the Livramento little rumour that happened yesterday. For me personally, I did speak on it in a stream. I don't want to speak about it too much because I don't personally see it happening. I'd be shocked if it does happen, and part of the report is shock. Chelsea are in shock talks. Now, for me, we have two young right-backs. I've spoken about this before in terms of age range and, you know, people fighting for the same positions. Usually two young players fighting for the same position doesn't really work unless one is injury prone in Reece James, and therefore it gives hope and opportunity to Gusto. Slamming it with three and stack padding and triple stacking with three is just nonsensical, doesn't make any sense. Livramento did used to play as a winger in the youth days in the academy at Chelsea, so maybe that's the thinking. But again, we've got a lot of young wingers as it is already, and we're going after another one, which I'm going to be speaking about next. So for me personally, I don't really understand it, and I don't really want to understand it. I think it's just unnecessary. Now, what really did also break today was Hudson-Odoi reportedly deciding he wants to leave Chelsea. He was already on the sell list, I think, most likely anyway, but this just kind of confirms again that he is most likely heading out the door. How Chelsea are going to handle this because of his wages, 120k a week, I can almost guarantee that these clubs that are interested, the Nottingham Forest, the Crystal Palaces of this world, will not be paying him 120k a week base. So there's going to have to be some sort of potential termination, trade-off, payout. We'll have to see what happens with Chelsea on that side of things. How much money can we command? I would hope that we would be trying to sell him for a decent amount of cash. You know, I think 15 million, you know, maybe 10 million, 15 million is maybe what we're looking at. He's got 1 year left on his contract. That doesn't play to our strengths here. Obviously, there was a time where he could have been sold to Bayern Munich for 70 million. I think it was a loan and then potentially an option to buy for 70 million. I forget now, but yeah, the value and the stock has fallen massively, obviously, since the injury and the loans to Bayer Leverkusen. So yeah, this is all we can do right now. Now, also, speaking of injuries, Hakim Ziyech is here to tell us that he's not injured, okay? Knee problems, right? Question mark, laughing emojis. I don't really know what to think of this because I have no understanding as to why this move collapsed if he doesn't have knee problems. The only thing I can think of is the Saudi team has potentially done a 180 and said, actually, we don't want Ziyech, or we don't want to pay Ziyech as much as we were going to pay him, so we're going to try and bring the wage down, and the excuse is the medical failed, because I don't understand how Kante's passing a medical and Ziyech is not. Kante's been more injury prone than Ziyech. He's had, you know, injuries, you know, built up for a long time, and Ziyech, look, he has suffered with injuries. Every time he tried to gain a little bit of momentum, a little bit of form, he has always picked up an injury. But if he's saying he's not injured, then what's going on here? I highly doubt Chelsea are going to pull the plug on this. They already messed up the paperwork for PSG in January because we were focusing on Enzo. I think Chelsea are trying to get him out as soon as possible and get the money in. So it must be a disagreement with Ziyech and the Saudi club. I don't know. I don't know what's happened here. All I know is that if he doesn't have a knee injury and his knee's fine, then fantastic. Hopefully someone else comes in and we can still sell. He won't fail a future medical. But that is one of the most puzzling situations I've seen. I don't really understand what's going on there. Strange. Also, Pulisic as well. You know, Lyon apparently now not in the race for Pulisic anymore in terms of their finances. They did come with a wild, random £21 million bid, 25 million euros. Wasn't expecting it. Then it started to kind of come out that Pulisic would probably prefer a move to AC Milan, which is not a massive shock. But AC Milan are obviously lowballing us massively and are not willing to pay anywhere near at the moment to what Lyon are paying. So there's an issue there. It's a conflict. And I would have obviously preferred to just, take the cash from Lyon, but now that cash is completely off the table. It says that French football's financial watchdog moves to sanction Lyon for the 23-24 season due to financial irregularities in the budget presented by John Textor. The DNCG will prevent wage bill inflation and be able to block transfer incomings this season. It seems like Lyon are in a spot of bother and they will not be paying us a penny for Pulisic, unfortunately, this summer. So it is back to Milan, who have just confirmed the signing, of course, of Loftus-Cheek. Another jersey, another shirt that I am potentially now going to have to purchase because this looks cold. Yeah, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, the number 8 shirt, AC Milan, mad. I am going to have to purchase that as well. So it's looking like a long summer. Now, let's get to the headline news because Chelsea are moving quickly again for another Brazilian talent, Matisse Franca. Okay, hopefully I haven't butchered that name. I'm sure the comments will be letting me know if I have. £25 million deal for this player, according to Simon Jones of the Mail Sport. And it's been backed up by a few other sources now as well. Some Brazilian outlets that we're in talks with this player, they've spoken about a willingness to pay £20 million. So the final fee is not really completely confirmed, but the interest is clear, concrete and rock solid. Now, we spoke about Cherki a little bit on the last stream. Is it between, Franca and Cherki? Most likely, it would be kind of crazy if we signed both, mainly because Felix Johnson is reporting that Franca is actually for the first team. When I first saw this name come up on my radar on the live yesterday, I thought, we're signing another player from the Brazilian league and he's going to Strasbourg and it's another 15-20 million pounds or euros that has gone towards development for the long term in terms of young players that we're not even really going to see in the first team. And I am looking for first team signings right now. As much as it is good to build the players for the multi-club model, we only have one club, so the multi-club model is not really multiplying much. We need more clubs, more Portuguese clubs probably as well. Which was the latest of clubs in terms of the region we're looking at. This player could be for the first team, and if this player's for the first team, then that kind of gives you your backup 10/right winger, because that's what he is, right? Looks like a good dribbler, a good striker of the ball as well. Again, we're just seeing little bits from comps. Statistically, there's not much to go off, but one thing I will say that I've seen in terms of the stats is the issue with Cherki was off the ball. It seems like, according to the statistics and the percentiles of this player, he can contribute defensively and his work rate is a lot clearer and more defined for Pochettino to work with, which is, of course, what we need. We do want talent on the ball, but off the ball for Pochettino, it's critical that you do give, something off the ball. And this player statistically looks like he does. So that's where they'll probably lean more towards him than Cherki if it is between the two. Now, in terms of talent, we're going to know Cherki a lot better because he's playing in the French league and we're seeing him in the under-21s of the Euros. He looks incredibly talented, both-footed, great creativity, brilliant dribbling, ball carrier, and brilliant, vision to go along with it. So he looks like one of the bottle. He looks like the special one. He is not one of the bottle. But listen, if Franca is the option that they're going with, I haven't seen the player at all, so I'm just going to be excited to see what he can do in pre-season, as well as the Andre Santos's and the Cassidys as well. And if that's the decision that they're taking, then let's take that decision quickly and let's move on to the midfield, which is crucial, which is the most important position right now that we need to absolutely must sort out. And I'm not talking about we have to get two, because we've seen Andre Santos, we've seen Cassidy. Listen, maybe these guys will play in central midfield. They're built like bricks. These guys, I said it on Twitter, they ain't built like Fabio Vieira. Do you know what I'm saying? They're built like bricks. They look like they're ready to play first team football. And we know that there's been reports about Andre Santos, and Pochettino wants to take a look at him and give him opportunities. Cassidy a little less, more links to loans in terms of Premier League Serie A. But if he impresses as well, maybe he'll get an opportunity. Carney's also at pre-season starting today in training. So we've got young midfielders. Unless we're signing starting quality midfielders, there is an argument to be made that maybe these guys could get the opportunities as bench players, as depth players. I'm here for it, if they impress in pre-season. To be honest, I'm not really one of those people that have been like, we have to get two midfielders. we have to get one. We get that first one in, then there's a lot of pressure that kind of takes off our shoulders. We know Lavia could be going to Liverpool, so the options are starting to come down. If we are going for a second choice midfielder in the deeper areas, then maybe you look at a Paulinho just as an option off the bench in terms of a proper rock solid DM. But again, there's no links. So if you're not going for, you know, certain amount, then you're starting to say you may as well give these young players a chance. We've already signed them. So that's the situation. For me personally, like I said, you get Caicedo done, and then we see what happens in pre-season, and we go from there. There's no rush after that for me personally. And obviously, on terms of the outgoings, we're still waiting to see deals concluded, fees to come in for players, same as you was, But the positive, Pochettino in the building, training kit looking clean and calm and fresh. I'm going to be purchasing, and I'm buzzing. I can't wait for it all to begin, for it to start. 2 weeks for fitness, and before that pre-season game, and the pre-season, I guess, then feels a little bit more focused as to what it should be, which is fitness and getting these players up to speed. Because one thing that everybody in terms of management got spot on last season is fitness was clearly not at the level it needed to be. Potter said it, Lampard said it, and I'm sure if Tuchel had given enough time, he would have said it as well. So, you know, let's move on into the season. I'm buzzing. Training pics look brilliant in terms of the kits and the players. Good to see them back. Hopefully this is a team that we can connect with this season, that we actually like. I'm sure it will be if we get the rest of the outgoings done that need to be done. But yeah, listen, I'm buzzing. I can't wait, man. And like I said, I've got the assistant manager on Twitter now. I just need Poch. And even Sebastian, man, don't run. Until next time, big up your damn selves. Make sure you smash up the like, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. In a bit, people. Peace.